Hello, everyone. In this video, I will introduce you to the scenario planning feature in Smartsheet. The scenario planning feature offers the following benefits: simulating and comparing multiple options before making changes to the project plan, quickly assessing the impact on the timeline, workload, and resource capacity, reducing risks when making decisions, and safely updating the actual plan. In the next section, I will clarify this scenario planning feature further. So first, we need to know what scenario planning is. Scenario planning is a feature that allows you to simulate and compare changes to the project timeline and resource capacity before applying them to the live project plan. You can change the timeline, reassign resources, adjust allocations, add or delete tasks, and compare multiple scenarios side by side before making any real changes. The biggest advantage is that all changes take place in a safe environment, and the live plan will not be affected. Until you choose Apply Scenario, let's look at an example situation. Currently, the team is working on multiple projects at the same time, including Project 1 and Project 2, and Thin Huynh is in charge of several important tasks throughout the timeline. However, there has just been a sudden change. Thin Huynh will be absent for a month. At this point, the project manager and resource manager need to quickly assess the following: how the timeline will be affected, who can replace the resource, whether the team will be over-allocated, and which solution is the most optimal before updating the live plan. In this demo, we will try out two scenarios. Scenario 1, assign another resource to replace all of Thin Huynh's tasks. Scenario 2, this option combines both approaches, reassigning part of Thin Huynh's workload to another resource, and delaying the remaining tasks of Thin Huynh by 1 month. After that, we will use the comparison view to compare the impact of each scenario before applying it to the live project plan. To compare the scenarios, we first need to create a scenario plan. To create a scenario plan, the user must be an admin on the workspace for all sheets being used, and also an admin on all project sheets involved. Specifically, in this case, that's the Project 1 and Project 2 sheets. In the project sheets, the required columns are start date, end date, and assign to. And the optional columns are allocation and duration. Now let's start creating a scenario. To begin, we'll select the two sheets that are relevant to this scenario. The changes we make will be applied across these sheets, allowing us to evaluate the overall impact on the project. We will name the scenario. Once the initialization is complete, Smartsheet will create a current plan in read-only mode and a first scenario for editing. In a scenario, the screen will be divided into two sections: Timeline View and Capacity View. The Timeline View will display the timelines of the tasks, and the Capacity View will display the capacities of the resources. In this scenario, the team will try the approach of reassigning all of Thin Huynh's tasks to another resource, specifically to Thin Huynh. We will change the filter to show only the tasks that have been assigned to Thin Huynh. And we will make the change. We will do the same for the remaining tasks. Here, we are reassigning all tasks currently assigned to Thin Huynh to Thien Huynh. This allows us to quickly evaluate how the project would perform with a different resource allocation and workload balance. All of Thin Huyen's tasks have now been reassigned to Thin Huyen. Because Thin Huyen's tasks have been completely replaced by Thin Huyen. Therefore, the resource Thin Huyen no longer appears in the capacity view below, and Thin Huyen's workload has also increased. This helps the team assess whether changing personnel is actually feasible and how it will impact the overall team's workload. We will continue by creating Scenario 2. Smartsheet allows us to create up to 3 scenarios. In this second scenario, the team will apply a combined approach. Part of the work will be reassigned, and the remaining tasks will be postponed. Specifically, in Project 1, the tasks of Thin Huyen will be replaced by Thien Huyen. And in Project 2, the tasks of Thin Huyen will have their start date postponed by 1 month. Let's get started. We will replace Thin Huyen with Thien Huyen. And for Project 2, we will delay the start date by 1 month. The same applies to the remaining tasks. Here, we are shifting the start dates of all remaining tasks assigned to Thin Huyen by 1 month. This helps us evaluate the impact on task dependencies, key milestones, and the overall project schedule. This is usually the most practical approach in an enterprise environment because it helps reduce overload, keeps the timeline reasonable, and limits the impact on the entire project. Now we're about to open the comparison view. This view allows us to compare the current plan with different scenarios side by side. Here, the team can evaluate and compare each option based on metrics, such as completed date, tasks at risk, and overloaded resources, and which resources have spare workload capacity. This will help stakeholders clearly see the trade-offs between timeline, workload, and resource allocation, adjust the budget, or assess risks before making the final decision. After stakeholders have reviewed the metrics of each scenario and agreed on the most suitable option, the admin can apply that scenario. Before applying, we can do a quick review of the scenarios, for example, Scenario 2. In the Overview tab, we can see an overall view of the changes across the sheets. In the Change List tab, we can see detailed changes in each sheet. And in the Conflict tab, we can check whether those changes have any conflicts and whether the scenario is ready to be applied. After applying, the live project sheet will be updated, and the entire scenario plan will be locked and switched to read-only mode. This helps ensure risk control, prevents unauthorized edits, and preserves the decision-making history. Now, we will apply Scenario 2. Before applying, Smartsheet will allow us to back up the source sheets. After applying Scenario 2, the data has also been updated. Specifically, in Project 1, the resource Thin Huyen has been completely replaced by Thien Huyen. And in Project 2, the start date has been postponed by 1 month. Scenario planning helps organizations reduce data fragmentation, avoid duplicate project plans, ensure reliability in decision-making, and respond more quickly to changes. Instead of copying data and guessing the impact, teams can now simulate, analyze, compare, and make changes directly to the actual data. That is the true power of scenario planning in Smartsheet. Thank you for following the presentation. If you have any questions or need consultation, please contact us using the information below. We offer Smartsheet products as well as WeSmart and WeGrid solutions to help digitize and automate your organization's processes.